Today's morning coffee vinyl side. Dusty Springfield, Stay a While, I Only Want to Be With You, 1964. This 1964 album, released under the Philips recording label, was the first album to be released in the US by London-born singing sensation Dusty Springfield. It follows the maddening practice of North American album releases for Brits being different than the original British ones. There was a lot of reasons for this, the British market being driven by the sales of singles being one of them, and it was common for singles to only be available there as singles. They didn't want to give anyone a reason not to buy a single and every reason to buy an album. Now, by the time a UK artist got attention in the US, there was often no time or no need to replicate the same sales strategy. The public and the suits wanted the singles on the albums. Things usually synced up once an artist developed a transatlantic following, and releases of singles and albums were done simultaneously in both markets. But until then, they were often out of step. This happened with the Beatles, the Stones, even the Jimi Hendrix Experience to some degree. That said, this is a fantastic album, and Dusty Springfield was an absolute phenom. These early rock and blue-eyed soul tracks would fit right beside the Ronettes on any rock and roll playlist and not be out of place. Sounding like a cross between Peggy Lee and Darlene Love, Dusty's voice and phrasing is perfectly in step with the genre, but there's no sound-alike mimicry going on here. It's all perfectly authentic, as if Dusty was born in Detroit or Chicago. You can feel it in her delivery. And on a technical front, I'm very impressed with her ability to move between intervals without needing to gliss or slide into pitch on this album. Her vocal instrument and her ear were that good here. Now, you've heard the hits from this album for sure, and you certainly know of her from her recording of Son of a Preacher Man from her 1969 album Dusty in Memphis. But your familiarity with Dusty might be more for the wild tales of her drug and alcohol problems, relationship issues, and mental health challenges. She lived pretty hard and fast at times, in conflict with herself, often the world, and those issues and headlines overshadowed the legacy of her music. In this, I'm reminded of another UK artist who possessed an amazing voice and was plagued by drug, alcohol, and mental health issues, and that's Amy Winehouse. I've stayed away from diving too deep on both Dusty and Amy, and that's really for my own protection. I have my own history of being involved with women in that kind of crisis when I was a young man, and there's something in me that gets a little triggered if I open that door too wide. Today's post definitely took me a little longer to write, and it was harder for me to find clarity with words and ideas. But I do look forward to hearing more Dusty. Maybe we'll come across her on Morning Coffee Vinyl Side again.